Millions of people walk past these massive red walls every year, but very few know what really happened inside. Welcome to the Red Fort. Today, we are walking through the remains of an imperial dream. Hi, Travelheads. We are in New Delhi, one of India's most chaotic and historic cities. Today, we visit the Red Fort, or Lal Killa. Built by Shah Jahan in the 17th century, it was not a tomb like the Taj Mahal, but a palace fort, the heart of his new capital, Shahjahanabad. The Red Fort stands close to the Yamuna River, near some of Old Delhi's most famous places like Chandni Chowk, Jama Masjid, and the crowded streets of the old city. From above, you can see the size of the Red Fort complex. Behind these red walls were royal palaces, gardens, and audience halls. And our visit begins at the main entrance on the western side, the Lahori Gate. This gate once faced the road towards Lahore, one of the great cities of the Mughal world. You can buy tickets directly at the ticket counter or online. For foreign visitors, it currently costs around 600 rupees, which is roughly $6. For Indian visitors, the ticket is 50 rupees, and children under 15 can enter for free. Also keep in mind before you visit that the Red Fort is closed every Monday. The closer you get, the more the Red Fort starts to feel less like a monument and more like a wall of power. These massive red sandstone walls were the first message of the Mughal Empire: strength, control, and imperial ambition. Behind them was not just a fort, but an entire royal world. The entrance area can get quite busy, especially later in the day. Before entering the fort, you pass a security check, so it's better to travel light and avoid bringing large bags. As we walk through the entrance tunnel, the space suddenly feels narrower and more controlled. Two small towers frame the way forward, a powerful transition from the crowded outside world into the guarded heart of the Red Fort. This is the massive Lahori Gate, the main entrance of the Red Fort, and once the gateway into the imperial world of the Mughal emperors. After entering through the Lahori Gate, visitors pass through Chhatta Chowk, a covered market area. In Mughal times, this was also known as Mina Bazaar, a place where luxury goods could be sold to the imperial household and elite visitors. After passing through the entrance passage, the space opens up again. Straight ahead, we walk towards the Archaeological Museum, housed inside one of the old palace buildings. A good first stop, because it gives you a better feeling for what this complex once was. One of the most important political spaces in the Red Fort is right behind the museum. This is the Diwan-i-Aam, the Hall of Public Audience. Here the emperor met the public and handled official matters. The hall has a long facade with 9 arches, and at the back you can still see the area where the royal throne once stood under a marble canopy. Imagine this place in the 17th century with nobles, officials, guards, and petitioners, and at the center of everything, the emperor as the visible source of justice and power. Knowing what happened here in the past makes the whole experience of walking through it even more impressive. The next place we want to visit is the Palace of Colors, or Rang Mahal. The name comes from the colorful decoration that once covered its interior. In Shah Jahan's time, the building was decorated with paint, mirror work, and rich textiles. A water channel called the Nahri-Bihisht, the stream of paradise, once flowed through this palace. Combined with gardens and marble, this created the idea of paradise on earth. Right next to the Rang Mahal stands the Khas Mahal, the private palace of the emperor. Compared to the public spaces, this area feels more intimate. It included rooms connected to the emperor's daily life, including the sleeping chamber and private prayer spaces. And then comes one of the most famous places in the entire Red Fort, the Diwan-i-Khas, the Hall of Private Audience. This was where the emperor met high-ranking nobles, foreign envoys, and selected guests. Unlike the Diwan-i-Aam, this was not for the general public. This was the inner stage of Mughal power. The hall was built in white marble and once decorated with gilding, painting, and precious inlay work. According to historical accounts, the legendary peacock throne once stood here before it was taken away by Nadir Shah during the Persian invasion of 1739. Next to the imperial bath area stands the Moti Masjid, the Pearl Mosque. This was not part of Shah Jahan's original plan. It was added later by Aurangzeb, Shah Jahan's son and successor, as a private mosque. By the way, if you enjoy our videos or find them helpful, please support us with a free subscription or book a tour with our link in the description. There is no extra costs for you, but we earn a small commission. Thank you. We are now in the so-called life-giving garden. Here you find the Zafar Mahal and the Sawan and Badan pavilions. They are named after 2 rainy months in the Hindu calendar. This is the Badan Pavilion, named after one of the monsoon months when the Red Fort's gardens and water channels were meant to feel cool, fresh, and alive. In the middle of the tank stands the Zafar Mahal. The tank itself belonged to the older garden design, but the pavilion was added around 1842 by Bahadur Shah Zafar, the last Mughal emperor. He was one of the most tragic figures connected to the Red Fort, more poet than powerful ruler. After the rebellion failed, he was tried by the British and exiled to Rangoon. The Sawan Pavilion represents the early monsoon season, while the Badan Pavilion stands for the later rains. Together, they're framing the Red Fort's garden as a place of cooling water, shade, and seasonal beauty. Our final stop is the Museum on 1857, India's first war of independence. This is where the Red Fort's story changes completely. The fort was no longer just a Mughal palace. It became connected to rebellion, trial, exile, and colonial control. After the uprising of 1857, the British took full control of the fort. Many parts of the palace complex were destroyed, altered, or converted for military use. Large open spaces that feel empty today are partly the result of that destruction and reuse. That is why visiting the Red Fort can feel strange. You see enormous walls and famous names, but also a lot of absence. The missing buildings are part of the story. So is the Red Fort worth visiting? Clearly, yes, but with the right expectations. If you come here expecting a fully preserved palace, like in a movie, you may be disappointed. Many rooms are empty, some areas are restricted, and a lot of the original decoration is gone. But if you understand what this place once was, the Red Fort becomes much more than a sightseeing stop. Today, on every Independence Day, India's Prime Minister raises the national flag at the Red Fort to address the nation. So the fort is still a stage of power, just in a completely different India. Click here for more videos from our India tour.